Now, in other parts of our region, businesses are providing some positive economic news. According to the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce, in the last quarter of 2013, sales were on the rise and firms were hiring again.
And one business near Derby has decided now is the time for an ambitious expansion scheme, as Navtej Johal reports.
It was a business that started in troubled economic waters, but Mercia Marina, based in Willington in Derbyshire, managed to survive rather than sink.
Come September 2008, we'd already invested 4.65 million in building the marina. And the idea that the whole world economy collapsed at the same time that we opened, which is a very frightening time for us.
Now it's the largest inland marina in the UK, with bigger plans for the future, a £1.7 million expansion to turn it into a major tourist attraction.
Right in the middle, where the digger is right now, there'd be a two-storey bar bistro, which would be a very attractive development. There's some design clues being brought up from London. It would be very unusual. They'll have a boardwalk and a terrace overlooking the water. And
a survey from the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce suggests it's not the only business feeling good about the future. Today's survey says 1 in 5 firms in Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire has increased the size of their workforce in the last few months, while 1 in 3 has at least tried to hire new staff. 2/3 say they feel confident about their prospects for the year ahead.
People's spirit is becoming much more positive. They know that there's a bright future out there. All it needs now is for the banks to release some more money for investment. It needs the councils to accept that new development needs to come through, and it needs people to put their hands in their pockets and start spending again.
Businesses will be hoping this positivity doesn't pass them by. Navtej Johal, BBC East Midlands Today, Derbyshire.
Now, the quarterly economic survey was, as we said, drawn up by the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce, whose chief executive is George Coucher, and he's with us this evening. Thanks for joining us this evening, Mr. Coucher. Your survey has found that 66% of firms that you surveyed think their turnover will increase over the next year. 54% forecast an increase in profits. What's this confidence actually based on?
Well, I think those two figures actually say an awful lot about that. You're seeing increasing turnover, which means that business is expanding, and you're also seeing more profitable business as well, which means that businesses are able to invest more for the future.
So this confidence is based on something solid, something robust, is it?
Yes, we've been seeing it. We saw some very strong growth in the second and third quarters in 2013, and the fourth quarter, which is always a bit of a dodgy quarter, actually topped that.
Your survey found that 1 in 5 firms have increased their workforce. But what sort of jobs are we talking about? Are we talking about short-term contracts or actually permanent full-time jobs?
I think we're looking at a full range here. So there are certainly permanent full-time jobs, some pretty high-skilled jobs, big opportunities available. And I think that increasing demand for labour is going to get even more acute in 2014.
You and other business leaders I've heard from are saying they are confident, but only yesterday we heard from the Chancellor, who described 2014 as the year of hard truth, warning of another £25 billion of cuts. Do you share any of his caution?
Well, I think in terms of the public financing, and that's what the Chancellor was really talking about yesterday, clearly there has to be a degree of caution. But I think in the private sector and in the productive sectors, you're seeing expansion. And actually, I think the two may be connected.
But he warned, didn't he, that growth this year will be less, will be lower.
I think the views in relation to growth are actually rising in relation to that, and we've actually seen some uprating in terms of figures, and indeed the view that actually the British economy could actually be growing as fast as Germany, even the USA during next year.
We shall have to see. George Coucher, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.